Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. I would travel the world for past, present, and future stars. And coming to you live from Florida, CHELO, Jose Alfonso. What's going on, champ? How you doing? Welcome
I'm
into the
doing good.
World Boxing Review.
Alonzo.
Alonzo. Okay.
Alonzo.
Well, I was thinking about that other cruiserweight champion I used to train, Alfonso Ratliff. So
I got you. I
sorry for
got
that
you.
mistake. But come on,
Nah, you
brother.
good, man. You good.
Hey, look, man, you're coming off a great weekend from being inducted into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. And number one, we all want to congratulate you from the World Boxing Review show and all our fans that follow you. It was an amazing weekend. And boy, oh boy, did you pack the people in there, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, man. I'm very grateful.
Hey, look, we want to jump into your compelling story because at the Hall of Fame, I had a chance when you were being inducted to listen to your story and all the people that came near and supported you. You had a whole community of people with you that came out, man. How did you get started in boxing and why? And just explain that whole journey of your boxing life.
Well, this platform is different, so I could actually get more into detail. I started boxing. My uncle, may he rest in peace. His name is Jose Rios. I called him Tio Jungo. He was my idol, man. I looked up to him, and I wanted to always be with him. So mommy allowed me to be with him for almost a year in PR. I was 7 years old. He also helped my mother take care of me when I was younger. And went to Puerto Rico. And the truth is, I went to PR thinking that, I was born in America, of course, but, being Puerto Rican descent, my mother from Puerto Rico and my dad from Honduras, I figured me going to Puerto Rico, I was going to get accepted with the kids and, it's going to be I had a whole picture in my head, but it didn't work out like that, man. Cause, I went to school for a very short period of time. And when I went to school, I was struggling. I could speak Spanish. I can understand it, but I couldn't write it or read it, but I could speak English perfectly. So, they would teach English. And now this is 7 years. I was 7 years old.
7 years old.
I was 7 years old, man. And back then, now you deal with bullying, but back then that's pretty much what's happened when you look back in life. And man, I was just getting picked on. So I had to defend myself and I was just constantly fighting. It wasn't the experience I expected. So what happened was my great grandfather, for whatever reason, they thought I was starting. I wasn't starting anything. I just moved there. So, but it was just me protecting myself. So my grandfather told my uncle, hey, we need to do something with CHELO or either send him back home. So my uncle literally took me to the boxing gym to try to scare me because they had the misunderstanding that it was me fighting, but it was just me protecting myself. So he takes me to the gym, man, and I sparred this kid. I don't know, he had probably like 20 amateur fights. I was 7. I put the gloves on and I dropped this kid in the first round. Don't ask me how, but I did it. I dropped him. My uncle looked at me. I finished sparring the 3 rounds, but I got beat up the last second and 3rd round. And that's how I fell in love with the sport of boxing. I just fell in love with it right there and then. And this was in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico.
I'm going to tell you, to drop him, champ, you had to throw some type of punch to nail him somewhere where he felt
man, it was crazy. I mean, I remember that was yesterday, and that's how I started in boxing. And then, right after that, I went back to New Jersey and I started boxing at the boys club. And I was just spar pretty much. I didn't have no amateur fights or anything there. I was just go to the boys club and just spar and box and train in Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jersey's rough and tough, over there. So you definitely have to learn how to defend yourself or stand up to the bullies, Yeah. Yeah. And look, man, I want to say to you, how did you make it to Florida? At what period of time in your life did you make that transfer from New Jersey down to Florida? Is because you got a lot of people who support you and follow you, man. How'd you make that transition?
I went from I believe it was 1989. I was either 14 or 15 years old. My mother sent me out here with my grandmother. May she rest in peace. She just passed away in February. Um, and I moved out here with her in 1989. And then I started my life out here at 14, 15 years old with my
Oh,
grandmother.
wow.
Then my sister moved down here, and then right after, my mother and my dad followed.
Oh, okay. Now, Don, Don Khan, he's a long time trainer. Know Don a long time, man.
Mhm.
How did you get up with him? And it seems like, good trainers make a significant change in people's lives, that change their life around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Explain that.
I believe that a good trainer is going to guide you, is going to motivate you, is going to inspire you, is going to believe in you, is going to have those tough conversations and tell you the things that you need to hear. Not the things you want to hear. And when I met Don Khan in like 1998, I believe, and I met him
Hmm.
through a gentleman of name Henry Rowland. He lived out here for many years, and he seen me grow up, and because of him, I was able to meet Don Khan. And I always thank Henry Rowland because here in Hernando County, he gave me the opportunity. He believed in me and introduced me to that legendary trainer, which is my trainer, Don Khan. And when I met Don Khan, like I said at the induction, he's a character. He's funny, man, and he
Yes,
has
he
a
is.
way. Yeah, he has a way
He's
of.
witty and gritty, but can he train fighters,
Yeah,
man? I know Don a long time, but
yeah,
he's a
man.
great trainer. Yes,
He
he is.
really is. So he has his ways of communicating and encouraging you at the same time. And that's pretty much. I think he tried me and see where my mental state of mind was at that time. And I think for whatever he did at that moment, I believe that I passed his test. And he literally looked at me and said, "Chelo, I'll make you a champion." I wasn't able to speak more, but Don Khan actually moved to Spring Hill, Florida. He actually
Hmm.
when he started training me, he brought his whole family and moved here to Spring Hill, and we started training and we started our process. So Don is a big figure in my life, and Aaron, I tell you, whatever endeavors I have, whether anything that I'm doing, and I invite Don Khan and his family, he doesn't say no at all. He goes, "I'll be there. I just need the dates," and he's always supported me since 1990. He's my family. He's like
Yeah,
a
that's
father figure to me as well.
training, life's trials and tribulations. People don't understand. It's a solid bond that you come with guys, and you're stuck to them like glue to the hip.
Yeah,
That's the way I find myself. Always seeking guys asking me different times in their life for guidance and things like that. And I'm pretty sure it was the same way with you and Don. But talk to me about in the fans out there. What did it feel like? Number one, when you got the word that you were going to fight for the Florida State championship, and then what did it feel like when you won?
well, I won the WBA, I believe, April 18, 2023. That broke my ankle. I came out of retirement. My son and my little brother constantly was encouraging me. Um, but when I came back out of retirement, I had a fight. I had a tune-up fight, and
Hmm.
I wasn't impressed with. It was a 4-round fight, and I wasn't impressed. But I also understood I was 8 years. My timing was off. My rhythm, like, I'm honest with myself. But
Right.
but when I was done with that fight, and I found out that I was able to fight for the Florida State title. I mean, my team that I had, Aaron, none of them were Hall of Famers. I had Jim McLaughlin, I had Don
Right.
Kahn, I had Leo Thaddeus, may he rest in peace, which he was conditioning coach for Hagler, Roberto Duran.
Right.
Um, I had John Casella. He was my
Hmm.
manager and trainer at the time. And I had Carlos Rivera in my corner. That was my team. So when I look at that picture and I fast forward to today, I had a Hall of Fame team, and none of us knew it back then. So,
Right. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
so when I look
Uh,
back, I'm very grateful and thankful that all these individuals that were in my corner gave me the opportunity and believed in me. And I was in the best shape of my life. And it was just surreal that at the age of 34, I'm able to fight for another title and to have that amazing team that I had in my corner. I mean, um, it was just unbelievable. It was just unbelievable.
well, like they always say, teamwork makes the dream work, boy. And but when
Yep.
you got a good team, it's like a engine in a car. You put the gas in there.
Mhm.
You got to go in there and start it up. Once you start it up, it starts purring, and
Mhm.
and you take it for a run, baby. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
yeah,
And I
it's
tell you, when I
it's that
trained,
teamwork that keeps it together.
yeah, when I trained, Leo Thalassides was my conditioning coach, and I'm telling you, he trained me old school. I didn't use no weights. It was just straight physical fitness. I mean,
Oh
he
yeah.
trained me old school. He was just, and if I didn't run a certain way, or I didn't do my sit-ups a certain way, or my push-ups a certain way, he was just, that's wrong. I would have to do it again. So he was a big part of my conditioning, and he was a great man, and may he rest in peace, and he'll
Yeah.
never be forgotten.
Well, conditioning, if you're not conditioned right, you can't pull out the task or the game plan. Is because if you're fatigued and you're not in great shape when you need to make adjustments and all that, you can't do it. So great trainers know that conditioning plays a large part of it. And as we all are, we only
Mhm.
can push ourselves to a certain level. It takes good trainers to get you to go that little extra step, that little extra mile, what you're talking about. And even in road work, man, you get tired, fatigued. They say, no, no, come on, let's go. Hey, come on, you can do it. Slow down a little bit, get yourself together, and take that journey. And it sounds like, man, that's what they were doing to you, and y'all went out and won titles. And
Yeah.
that's a blessing in itself to be a champion.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm very grateful. Like I said, the truth is, I'm 13-1 with 7 knockouts. I have a very short career, and to
Hmm.
be able to win 2 titles with 13 fights, that's a blessing on its own. But the reality is, you'll hear a lot of trainers say, the fighters are the ones that fight. The fighters are the ones in the ring. That is correct. I agree with that 100%. But if you don't have the proper team and the proper guidance, direction, discipline with what you create, then it's hard for any fighter to win anything. So I always give, I always want to give uh, thanks to all the boxing members that are on the boxers' corners, because they are very important, especially when you have world-class fighters. And for me, I've been blessed to have the people that have been in my corner. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in, because to get to the top, you can't do it alone. I don't care who
No,
you are in whatever endeavor it is you're doing in life. And that's just how I view life. So I got into the position I'm in because of the people that have believed in me and have supported me and been there for me.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's go into I'm going to read some stuff that's people are typing in the chat room.
Okay.
Michelle, who's my lady that helps on the show, she said, "Congratulations, champ. Enjoy
Thank you.
meeting you." When we took that great picture
Yes,
in the
yes,
lobby
yes,
when we first
yes,
came in the Hall
yes.
of Fame, she said, "You and your wife are a powerful couple." And she said, "I'm from New Jersey. I love the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm from Camden." Yes, she is. She said,
There you
"It's
go.
great. You have a great story, great people." And she loved chatting with you and your wife, man. That's powerful. She's chatting it up. But
Oh, till I
since
said it was a pleasure to meet her as well as you, and I'm just grateful that for her time, for her compliments, and just spending the time that we communicated, and which was a very short period of time. But I appreciate her and I appreciate you. I'm very grateful.
yeah,
Thank you.
hey man, we have to have you on the World Boxing Review radio show. It is vitally important. But let's get into what's sometimes is the tough part of life, because we have ups and downs, and boy, do you have a compelling story.
Mm-hmm.
You won the championship. Looks like life is going great and things. Some tragedy or something happened at the Hall of Fame, but I want you to tell it. I don't want to say anything. Come on with that, man. It's compelling, man. You know, you refuse to be held down and held back, bro.
Yeah, it was. After the Florida State title, I fought a gentleman by the name of Lamar Russ. I lost that title, and I injured my neck. I lost the range of motion, so I had to retire. And I kind of knew that, so I was already expecting that. Then I got into personal training, and I met my wife. And my wife and I's story was to me is special because honestly, we went from friendship to marriage. We get married, and we start living our life. We start doing what we're doing, and 6 years ago, we went out because my wife got her real estate license, so we were happy, and I started a credit repair company. So it's February, so let's say, hey, let's go out. We went out to a local bar here in Hernando County, and we went to go have a good time. And an incident happened to where what I saw was a woman didn't want to go with a gentleman, and we had an altercation. I don't remember much in the beginning part of it. I remember getting the details because it was blurred to me. But there was a lot of people there that saw what happened, and pretty much from what I understand, the guy took a swing at me 3 times. I dropped him 3 times, but I don't remember that. I remember things being quiet. And then our youngest son, came to pick us up to take me and his mom home. And the gentleman, was maybe about 100 feet, maybe give or take. And he had a gun. So he took 2 shots at a buddy of mine. He missed him. When he saw me, he started shooting. And when he started shooting, one of the shots hit my son on the top of the foot.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so when he hit my son on the top of the foot, as a father, what do? There's nothing else you could do. So, I went towards him. He was far from me, but he just kept shooting. One of them grazed me. The other one went through my stomach. And I believe at that moment for me is where my life started changing, because you watch these movies and they get shot and they start rolling, they're jumping, climbing trees. It's not like that. When I got shot, I remember my legs giving out on me. I couldn't breathe, Aaron. I couldn't breathe. That was the scariest thing in the world. I speak about, when you watch movies and someone's passing and they show their family, just
life path
their family, or you see certain types of lights, or you see, some people get to witness God. I didn't see God, but I saw a light. I saw a light 3 times. The first time I saw the light, and I remember my eyes being open, but all I saw was black. In my head, this was happening for minutes, but in reality, it was less than 2 minutes. So I saw this light, Aaron, and it wasn't your flashlight, sunlight. It was I can't explain the light. When I saw that light, I was able to breathe a little bit. It happened the second time. Second time, the light was a little bit longer. The third time it happened, it was just the light was just there. I was able to breathe. And now I'm able to see. And when I'm able to see, all I could think of, because I saw my family. I saw my whole entire family in flashes, just constantly going. I went in my pocket, and my mother found out that I was shot by me. My son and my daughter found out they were shot by me, because, that I had the strength to let them know, and they were constantly in my head. So I went in my pocket, called my mom. I told her, she goes, Papi, stop playing. I said, Mommy, I gotta go. I've been shot. Call my son, leave my son a voicemail, leave my daughter a voicemail. After that, Aaron, I don't remember nothing else. After that was a roller coaster. I get into, my son says that at this point I'm in the ambulance. I don't remember, but he just recently deleted the voicemail because my son just kept popping in my head. So he said that I left him a voicemail when I was in the ambulance, and I don't remember. Then I get to the hospital, and I don't remember. I remember bits and parts because my whole stay there was in and out, but I can tell you that for 59 days, Aaron, I was never left alone. My wife, my kids, my siblings, my parents, my mother-in-law, the community, my daughter-in-law, my son-in-law, I was just never left alone.
Now,
And
how long, once you entered the hospital, how long did you stay in the hospital
so
physically?
so when I got shot, and I woke up, they already had this surgery and they let me go. I think I was there maybe 2 days, and they let me go home. And then when I went home, I caught a fever. I think I had like 105, 106. My wife.
Well, we get him back in here. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. We
Yeah,
get you right in there.
there you go.
There we go.
So,
Yeah, you're back.
she takes me back to the hospital, and that's when everything started happening, man. It just, that's when I went sepsis, and just went through my roller coaster ride. So I
Wow.
went back to the hospital and just didn't come out until I got transferred to Tampa General, and then
Well,
Tampa General.
how did you stay motivated? And the reason why I'm asking you these questions is that there's people out there and fans out there that listen to the show. They may be going through some trials and tribulations of health and stuff like that. And to hear your story, how you made it through, will encourage, inspire people.
You
Um,
know, I'm gonna say, first, of course, I'm gonna say God. I'm gonna say God. God has showed me um, many, many things. I always tell people that God speaks to everyone every single day. The problem is, I believe that humans don't listen, because God speaks to us here. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. We know what we need to do, but he also created us as the flesh to be able to make decisions. You can make a good decision. You can make the bad decision. It's up to you. So being there, that's number one for me. But then God put all these puzzles of humans in my life. And I believe, Aaron, that what kept me alive was the support system that I had, and me being
wow.
able to see everyone that was there to make sure that I was okay, or even though they knew I wasn't okay, they were there letting me know that we're here with you. We're, no matter what, we're here. So I believe that the support is what gave me and continue to give me the opportunity to continue to fight, because everyone that was there loves me.
Well, hey, look, man, your son is, he typed in the chat room, God is great, true champion, proud son. Love you, Pop. Right.
That's I admire my son. Um, you know, growing up, of course, there's no book to teach you how to be a parent, and
That's correct.
and I feel that I did the best that I could. I know where I fell short. I know what I should have done, what I didn't do. And the reason I say this is because my son and my daughter, we've always had an open line of communication since they were 7 years old. My kids
Right.
could tell me anything, whether I'm right or wrong, as long as you don't disrespect me, express how you feel, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to grow, and we're going to be able to grow as one. And
That's right.
to be able to see my son accomplish everything that he's accomplished, graduated college, played baseball for the University of Cumberland, married my daughter-in-law, that it's an absolutely young woman. She got her master's degree, he got his bachelor's. They own their home. They do what they need to do, very independent. But you know what's the most beautiful thing for me that I admire my son for? is watching him be the father that he is to my grandkid. And for me to be able to be a part of that, that's something that I talk and I speak about and I'm proud of, because not because he's my son, he's just an absolutely phenomenal father. And when we speak, and I want men to hear this, when we speak, my son says, Papa, you've been a great father. But my son learned from me the good qualities, and he also learned what I didn't do. And that's how we create and break generational curses.
That's
You understand what I'm
correct.
saying? You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And I'm okay to say that because I'm not perfect, but I did the best for my son. Now my son is just creating a better relationship, a better foundation for my grandkids. And so is my daughter with her
That's
husband.
correct.
Do you understand? And I speak like this because I think that, in my opinion, in my beliefs, is this communication between parents and kids need to be open, transparency and communication, so they can continue. It's okay for us to say we failed, and I'm happy that you're breaking generational curses. It's okay for us to say that, but many don't know how to.
That's
But I
correct.
believe having that transparency and that communication, that faith and hope, what God has given us, we need to do those things in order
Yeah,
to continue to grow. So us as parents can be like, look at that.
yeah, and Big Daddy, our father called God. You know,
Yeah.
he's the one who shows us the way in times of trouble, times of need. He's always by our side. He never leaves us nor forsake us. He's always there. So in during trials and tribulations called life, we lean on him, you know, because there's no perfect family. We're
No.
always striving for perfection and try to mend the things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Find solutions to the problem, not constantly causing problems
Correct.
that mislead people down the wrong direction. You have to find a solution to the problem, and then you solve it by God's grace and God's mercy, because God works some things in our life. We say, oh man, I don't know how this happened, but it's happening, and I'm gonna go with it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, as a parent, you know, sometimes it gets tough, but in the end, God works things out in His own way, man. And
You know,
it takes a good spouse too when you're raising a family. That's whether you have or
so
you don't have. You know what I mean? She's always tight by your hip, and boy,
mhm.
do you got one.
So, my wife, like I said, we're a blended family, and my children, my oldest, my Jose Jr., which I call Bevo, and my daughter Naija. Um, that's just my perspective on how I viewed as me, the best that I did as a father. But I
Right.
also want to say thank you to their mother, Elsie
Hmm.
Gonzalez, because she was and is a phenomenal mother, always been. And I always say, even to my kids, and I say to people, that I thank her because she also showed me how to continue to be a better father. She never gave up on me when I was going through
Never
my
gave
trials.
up
And
on you.
remember, because the reality is I was a baby having babies. You know what I mean? Back
Right.
then, you couldn't tell me that. Back then, I knew everything. At 16 years old, I
Right.
knew everything, but I didn't know nothing. But
Right.
she always encouraged me to continue to do better, and never kept my kids away from me. And we did great co-parenting. And I believe because we understood that at a young age, we were able to raise our two children to be who they are today. So I want to say thank you to her as well.
Oh yeah, man. That's beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to go through all of that and still hold your family together and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simply amazing. And I tell you, you have an amazing story in your life with the different trials and tribulations, man. The average person, you know, that gets shot, they give up on life. Nobody wants to be bothered with them or anything like that. Like you said, your supporting team that was around you stayed there. They supported you, lift you up, kept your spirits up. So, you know, I heard you say at the Hall of Fame when you were doing your speech, and you bring everybody up on stage, which was just an amazing that had a deep part to play in your life. Talk a little bit about when you got shot, you having the bag, how your wife helped you, how she encouraged you with all of that. Get into some of that, man, because at the Hall of Fame, boy, did you put it down.
My wife, like I said, we're going 11 years, August 30th. And the first time I actually started having conversations with my wife 11 years ago, I was already in my transition of changing my life. I wasn't happy with who I was, like how I said in the induction. But here I meet this woman, Aaron, our conversations were different. Her visions were different. Her
Right.
her perspective in life was different. Things that I never heard from anyone. She just opened up my eyes, opened up my mind, encouraged me and we were just friends at this time.
Right.
And here I am, we get married, and since day one that we've been together, all she's done is just uplift me, motivate me, inspire me, she always says, you've done everything, but she goes, you always talk about me. I said, I talk about the people that's been in my life because I want to
Life.
be who I am
Yeah,
without.
that's
That's
right.
just me. It's not I, it's we. So
That's right.
we start our career. I'm doing my personal training, and she's very educated, and she's had great jobs, and so we start, and I get after I get shot. You heard the story with my daughter because it was just roller coasters.
Mhm.
So that was my daughter Naija. I love her with all I have. She is such a tough cookie. And me and my son, I remember we talked about it. We used to rough her up and hold her and wrestle her and just
Yeah,
build
she
her
around the
to be a
boys,
tough
around the
character.
fellas.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I always tell my daughter, apple doesn't fall far from the tree because she has my character. She has my strength. She's just Naija. So, when I was going through that moment that I was just giving up in my life, I felt like I just couldn't no more. She let me know. This is not who you are. You know what I mean? Pretty much, in other words, we're Alonzos. We don't give up. You're my father. You're going to have to walk me down the aisle. And that encouraged me to keep fighting. I see my sister. So we go back home, and I couldn't really I heard my speech and I couldn't really get the message the way I wanted to because I knew I took a lot of time. But, my wife, for the first time, Aaron, like
Mhm.
I said, I seen my wife take care of me in ways that I couldn't do anything. Changing my bag, I couldn't shower, I couldn't walk, I couldn't roll over, I couldn't put clothes on. Now she's doing this, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's going to college, she's taking care of our son that also got shot. My mother-in-law, she was sick at the time. She was making sure that my parents were okay as well. She's washing clothes. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And here I
Right.
am. I could not help her with anything. But for the first time, I realized my wife's worth. I realized that even though I was working, she was working, she was still doing all these things instead of just, cleaning me and showering me, but she was still doing these things. Then us as men, we come home. At least I speak for myself. I come home,
Right.
I'll start
That's right.
training, I start working, I lay down, whatever the case, but yet she's still doing all those things. Even though I'm a good husband, even though we have a great marriage, but I never realized her worth and took advantage of who she was as a woman. But God said, watch. Now it
Yeah.
starts
Well,
being.
wow. People
So
to
now, so now with my wife,
mhm.
it's 100. She cooks, I'll wash dishes. It's just I know my wife's worth. I know who she is as a woman and what she's done, and I acknowledge that. I appreciate that, and I'll never be who I was before I got shot. So that's what. So this also helped me grow and understand who she is as a mother, as a wife, as a work, everything. Like I know my wife's worth, and I will treasure that forever, and I will continue to communicate and have transparency with my wife, because if I can't be transparent, I can't communicate with her, then why be with her, right?
There you
So
go.
so
That's
we
right.
have that communication, and we continue to uplift and motivate each other. So my wife being at that time, she's the one who encouraged me. God showed me what I needed to see. Then he brings her back in a different form and says, I'm going to bring your wife so she can tell you exactly what she needs to tell you. And that's what she encouraged me and told me, because like I said, I deal with PTSD. I deal with anxiety. I've learned how to cope with it because I've also believed that, those are things that don't go. Me speaking about it, it just triggers certain things. But I've learned how to cope where I can continue to keep moving forward. So,
yeah, well, you express it very well, bro. We got somebody from Tasmania, man, that tuned in. They left a comment saying hello to us, man, and people are sending emails and stuff, man. They are saying, man, this guy's story is just phenomenal. Yeah, man. As I know, man, you gotta keep telling it as things keep progressing as you're doing. Then after all of that, you got yourself together. It seems that you got healthy, and then you went out and got a real estate license or something like that. Real estate. Explain all of that, how that transferred.
So when my wife had brought me to our office at our old house, I still had a colostomy bag. I still had a walker, but I was getting better. I had my incisions was constantly popping open. It was just roller coasters. So, so that was also messing with my head. So she sits me down and, we had a conversation and she goes, CHELO, she goes, you're one of the smartest men I know. She goes, you retain information like nobody's business. She goes, you're a walking database. I said, what do you mean? She goes, people love you. You've been in this community for a long time. And she literally told me, let me be your mentor. Like, that's the truth. I said, you're going to, like I said at the induction, I said, you want to be my mentor? Like, and as a man, we're like, the pride.
We men, you got to take the lead, whether you,
so
I understand.
So at this point, like
you ain't used to a woman leading you. You used to leading people. You know what I'm saying? Because you provide.
100%, and that's the truth. So, I just took quiet, and then that was another growing moment for me. Another growing moment in the sense that I don't care who we are. I don't care if it's you, me. Somebody helps us every single day. Whether it's a pen, a piece of paper, opening your door. God bless you. Smile. You look beautiful. Whatever the case may be. So at that point, I just took quiet, and I'm like, so why not learn from the person I love? Why not learn from the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with? Why not learn with the person that I love with all I have? Why not learn from the person that I admire? Why not learn from the person that I look up to? And that was my wife. Right. And I said yes. So I started studying, and I got my real estate license, and we started our business. And when I say we, it was her vision. When I say we, it was her plan. When I say we, she orchestrated all this together because she saw what I wasn't able to see. She believed what I wasn't able to believe. But since I believe in me and I believe in her, I follow suit. I let her be my mentor. And everything that we've done, everything that we've accomplished, everything that we've done, yes, I've done it with her, but it was her vision. It was her plan. She just believed in, and we together, we've created what we have. And I'm very grateful and thankful that God has given us the opportunity and led us to continue to move forward. That's the truth.
Wow. So now that you have your real estate license and stuff that.
We own our brokerage now. So
you're
I'm a broker. Yes.
Oh, you're a broker. That's a whole different ball game now. Yeah. You went for the whole ball and wax, man. You went for it all. Well, congratulations as being a broker. Now let's talk a little bit about that. What's the name of your company for the people out there listening?
The name of the company is Florida's A-Team Realty, powered by SELLSTATE. We're a franchise with SELLSTATE, and the actual name, Florida's A-Team Realty, my daughter came up with it because our last name's ALONZO. So when we were, we were thinking of names. Naija goes,
Uh-huh.
Papi, just Florida's 18. A stands for Alonzo. A is the first letter. A is where it begins. So that's why we named it Florida's 18 Realty, powered by SELLSTATE.
Yeah, someone said on here, oh my goodness, New York goodness. Love you, Pop. Another family member or somebody that's saying, I'm listening, I'm in the chat room. They're saying, wow, man, they're just typing stuff in. People are emailing. You can't see it, but I can see they emailing me and everything, man. You got you got the show lit up like the 4th of July.
Oh man, that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing.
Yeah, yes, it is. Cause you got a compelling story. So now you're a broker and all of that. Tell how people can get in touch with you if they need real estate in your area, because I know we're going to get into what happened just right after the Hall of Fame. That was something inspiring and all that. We're going to get into all of that, but right now it's about that real estate and how people can get in touch with you. And if they want to buy, sell, is that what you do? Because I've seen that.
If they want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you guys can go to Floridas18.com. You guys can go to Floridas18realty.com. You can look us up on Facebook. My phone number is 352-419-9151. My wife is 352-515-7299. You can look us up on Google, look us up on Instagram, look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Florida's 18 Realty, powered by SELLSTATE. LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Look, just the other day, I seen a video floating on somebody's website. Your wife was with a nephew of yours. He's in the real estate. He just bought a Mercedes Benz or something like that from a real estate deal, man.
Yeah.
Talk, because man, not only are you
the,
looking out for your immediate family, but you're looking out on like nephews and stuff like that, man. This is powerful. Explain a little bit about that, about nephews.
Yeah, we have our brokerage it's a lot newer. We have a total of 24 agents. We have amazing agents in our brokerage. Everyone there is successful. Our nephew Adrian Cabrera, he started about a year and 4 months ago. And I remember when he started, he was, it's so overwhelming when you start real estate. And with my wife and me guiding him, and his uncle is also a real estate agent. So he had 3 pillars guiding him, directing him, encouraging him, showing him, leading him, and I always tell Adrian, I tell my agents, and I tell people in general, in order to be the best leader, you have to be willing to be the best follower.
Absolutely.
You understand?
No doubt about
it. That's just the reality. And Adrian understood that, understands that, and now he sees it. So here goes this kid a year and 4 months ago. First few months he had no deals. Now we go a year and 4 months later, and look what this young man has been able to do. So I just saw him at the bowling alley, and he goes, "Theo, come look at my car." So I look at his car. He's showing me. He felt like I was in high for an induction. He's like this. He goes, "Theo, I just can't believe it." So I looked at him. I said, "Believe it." I said, "You did that. You put in the work.
Yeah.
You are helping change people's lives by helping families get into homes and following through whatever the steps are to get these families to their dream homes. You have done that, and they have given you the opportunity to help them
and help them accomplish the American dream. Hey, man,
that's it.
The American dream is to be a homeowner.
Yes, sir.
Because that sets you up in the financial world. I'll never forget when I was 21 years old, when I went and bought my home. I paid cold cash for it, and from boxing, man. And it was the most proudest feeling that I ever felt in my life, man. is to become a homeowner and own it outright. You know what I mean? And I know what the young man and how he felt helping other families look at the American dream of becoming a homeowner, man. That's a blessing within itself, CHELO, that you're
Yeah,
doing that.
but also that's just us. That's just us as leaders in our brokerage. But this young man, his family, his parents, his siblings, they're all go-getters. They own a restaurant here in Hernando County. It's called
Hmm.
Copa. I eat there all the time. So this young man has the blessing to see his king and his queen constantly work. They just opened another business. So he's surrounded around entrepreneurs that want nothing but to succeed so they can leave something for their family. So he has the opportunity to see leaders in front of him. And he is so wise and he is so willing to follow that he has an open mind and he sees what's in front of him and he's taking full advantage of it. And that's what
Yeah,
I believe that individuals need to realize. When you have something in front of you and you know what it is, remember I said God speaks to you and that feels right, follow.
follow it. That's right.
Follow. Just
You gotta,
follow.
you gotta, you gotta, you gotta be able to follow it. But
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about the community. Let's get in. Who made the telephone call to you to tell you that you were being inducted into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame?
Mr. Steve Catton, I'll never forget it. It
What
was
a
on
guy!
this.
What a
Yeah,
guy!
man, he's
He's the best.
amazing, man. And I've known Steve for a while, but when I received that call and I seen on my phone it said Steve Catton, I looked at my wife. I said, "Bet Steve Catton's calling me." And I answered that phone call, man. It was December 26th, 2023 at 3:14 p.m., man. And he just called me and goes, "Cello, how you doing? It's been a long time." I said, "How you doing, Steve?" And then I think my wife has a video, she posted it. And he just called to welcome me and congratulate me into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Aaron, when I tell you, man, I mean, come on, man. You know, I'm just so grateful and honored to even be amongst you guys and the world
Man,
champions.
welcome into the family. You
Yeah,
deserve it.
man, it's just such
You
a
put that
blessing.
time in. That's what we said in the early part of the show. Them blood, sweat, and tears, man.
Yeah,
When
man.
nobody sees the downtime, everybody see you when you're on the top, but they don't see the struggle to get you there, man.
Nah,
They're
man.
welcome into the family of the
It,
Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.
it,
Isn't it great? But let me tell you what, man.
go ahead, man.
You bring something this year to the Hall of Fame that the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame hasn't seen in a while. You bring a whole community into the whole Boxing Hall of Fame. You made your community the community of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Y'all showed up and showed out, man. And for you to get up there and tell your story and thank all the people that helped carry across what you were talking about today, man. That stage at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame has never been that jam packed with people, man. And congratulations
Thank you.
for your induction into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame class of 2024, man.
Yeah,
Isn't it beautiful?
it was a
You're now Cello, the Hall of Famer.
yes, sir. It's a blessing, man. And you know, I can remember since I was 16 and I started boxing, man. I've always had the community has always supported me. And I've loved my communities. Like I said, I love my community. I really do. Anybody who knows I love Hernando County. There's no county like it. So when I started, when I started my professional career, they love me, man. They follow me, they encourage me, and they've been part of my journey for so many years. Then I go through my tragedy, and I can tell you that Hernando County came together. Businesses came together to do fundraisers. My family didn't need anything. They were bringing food. They were making sure that my family was taken care of. I was in the hospital. I remember this too, real quick. So because I think this is important too. My wife, a local bar here, Karma, Rob, he owns it,
Huh.
a great dude and his family. They did a fundraiser, and my wife goes, "Look at what they're doing." Um, and I'm fighting for my life. I could talk, and she goes, "Look," I start crying, and I tell her, I said, I don't want nothing. I didn't ask no one for nothing. I don't want to owe nobody nothing.
Right.
Again, that's the
Yeah.
man in us, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah. You
looks at
don't,
me.
if you owe somebody something, you're a slave to them,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
that's but that's
Yeah.
at that point to me that was a close-minded thought, right? Because
Right.
that's
That's right.
how
Come
we were,
on.
right? So now she goes, "Stop," and she starts crying. And I said, "Why are you crying?" She goes, "Cello, do we have a lot?" I said, "No." She goes, "Do we help?" She goes, "Yes." She goes, "Do we do it a lot?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "How does that make you feel?" I said, "It's a blessing." She goes, "You see?" She goes, "You see? Don't take these people's blessings away. They're doing it because they love you. They're doing it
Love you.
because this is what they can do for you." So that was another growing moment for me to understand how to receive.
But they gave you something, this county and your family saying, let's go, stand up, Hernando County,
Yeah.
Spring Hill 3352.
5-2,
Wow.
3-5-2.
But
So
they awarded you something right after the Hall of Fame, man. You get back home, and what happened? It was a surprise to you. They call you in the chambers or something
yeah, they
in the county building. Talk about that, man. Right after the Hall of Fame, you get called in. Talk about that.
man, I listen, man. The my wife tells me this before we get into before we go into to the week induction weekend. She starts telling me, "Cello, we're gonna go to an auction. Me, you, and mommy, which is my beautiful mother-in-law." She goes, "We're gonna purchase this multi-family home, but we have to see if we can win in the auction." I mean, she gave me a whole spiel. And our youngest daughter may take care of it, and she'll run it. So I was like, "Okay, but you need two forms of ID." I said, "Okay." So we go to the Hernando County courthouse, and I start walking. But then I see my sister. I see my sister and my nieces, and they're wearing my shirts. But my
Uh,
sister, they still uh, have things from Florida that, they gave me a spiel. No, we got to get some documents. So, of course, I'm going to believe
right.
it because my sister, she lives in Jersey, but she's from out here. So we start walking. We go in, and then I walk into the commissioner's, I would say chamber, I guess, where they
Yeah,
all have
yeah.
their
Yeah,
meetings,
where they hold the county meetings at.
the county meeting. So I walk in, and when I walk in, as I walk in, our best friend Nichelle and her boyfriend Marcel, Nichelle hands the belts to Marcel. Marcel gives me the belts. I grab the belts. Then I start looking. I see my son, my daughter, my grandkids, my parents. I see Vivian. And Vivian, she's a big advocate in Hernando County for the Hispanic community. I see I just seen everybody. My best friend Brandon. I'm looking, and then John, the commissioner, starts talking and starts speaking, my bio, and he starts reading it. So I'm looking at him, and it still hasn't hit me. It still
Right.
hasn't hit me, and I'm being honest, man. I'm looking, and I'm just in shock, and I have all the commissioners. I'm like, And he starts reading, and it took me about 2 minutes, honestly, like 2-3 minutes to say, okay. And then, they started speaking, and what a blessing.
Yeah.
Like what a blessing. I don't believe that's ever happened here in Hernando County. I've been here 35 years, so I just got the resolution of proclamation for the first boxing champion, the first athlete to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And a big thing is I'm the first Latino. That's
And
huge.
that's something
That's that's that's
that's
huge.
history within itself, man.
Yeah, so I am so, like everybody says, Chola, how do you feel? Aaron, I don't know how to feel. I keep jumping from one cloud to another, and then here
Yeah,
I
well,
am interviewing with you with a prestigious man like yourself, giving me the opportunity to speak in your platform. Like it's just all mind blowing. The people I've met, the people, it's just I don't know. I'm just grateful. I'm
man,
just
it's
so grateful.
God's grace, God's mercy. It
Yes,
always
sir.
carries through, and He puts us in places and have us do things far beyond what we can see. It's about bringing people together, and working together works, man. when it's all worked out right. It's working together for you. God's blessing you at this point, man. You've been through a heavy struggle. He takes you down deep in the valley to bring you way up on the mountaintop. And boy, I can say this, you haven't forgot about the Lord. When you were in the winner's circle at the Hall of Fame, boy, did you praise him. Second
No,
to none. And that's what the Lord wants you to do. And you did it.
Without him, excuse me, Aaron, without him, I wouldn't be who I am. You know, without him and the way I speak and the way I carry myself, man, I'm not perfect. If I
No,
pinch
we
you,
all are.
if I pinch you, it's gonna hurt me just like it's gonna hurt. I'm no different than you. But what I
Right.
do is I continue to be the best person that I can be. That's the truth. My whole thing in life is I want to uplift you, motivate, and inspire whoever I possibly can. My story here, I'm not no better than nobody. People that know me know my struggles, know what I've been, know me since I was 15, my up and downs, and to be where I'm at today, it wasn't handed to me. It wasn't handed to me. It was something that was there. I just had to continue to keep moving forward and continue to live my dreams that I wanted to live. And then God put so many puzzles in my life. And when I say puzzles, those are people. Because
That's
remember,
right.
God created us as a puzzle that we will never complete, ever.
Oh,
But he
that's
puts
right.
people and so many puzzles and so many things in my life that has guided me to continue to move forward and continue to walk straight. Because I always say this, God gave us eyes in front of our face so we can stay moving forward. If he
Forward. That's
wanted
what I
us to
say too.
worry about the
About what's
past,
behind. Either put
we
them
have
back
eyes
there.
behind here. We can't walk backwards. So whatever we've been through in the past has gotten us to our present. If we're wise enough and understand what we've dealt with in our past, our present will help us accomplish what we want in our future.
Oh,
Simple math.
absolutely. No question about it.
Simple math.
And dreams only come true if you believe that they do. You have to dream a little while and you got to work hard and make it happen.
Dream.
And
A dream is like a dream is like oxygen. It's like faith and hope. People say faith and hope. Faith and hope is something you believe. That's God.
that's right.
Oxygen. We need right now. You and I are breathing. We can't touch it, but we believe that it's going to be there every day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know,
And
so
and and
just
and
believe.
it's our story and it's God's glory, and you have made that present. Look, man, we've been talking for close to an hour now,
I
man.
appreciate the
And
time.
boy, I have enjoyed it. Yeah,
Thank you.
Cello, let me tell you something. You are indeed something special, and so is your family and your friends. And they all demonstrated that at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame for the class of 2024, man, and you're part of that class. In closing, what do you want to say, man? Say or talk about anything that you want to talk about.
In closing, first I want to say thank you to the King of all kings for giving me again another opportunity and for continuing to give me his grace. I want to say thank you to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. I want to say thank you to President Steve Catton. I want to say thank you to Vice President Bob Alexander. I want to say thank you to Dahlia Duran. She's amazing organizer. I want to say thank you to the volunteers and their staff. I want to say thank you to my parents, Bai and Mommy. I want to say thank you to my wife, my son and my daughter, Xavier and Annalise. I have 4 kids. It's a blended family. I have 2 boys, 2 daughters. They're just absolutely amazing. I want to say thank you to all my grandkids that they'll see this one day. And I want to say thank you to everyone that's been part of my career, Don Khan, John Casella, Damon Gonzalez, Orlando, Jim McLaughlin, Aaron Jacobs, Pete Fernandez. You know, these people have been all part of my life, man. And I want to say thank you to my Hernando County. Hernando County, I love you guys. I'm so grateful for everyone. If I forgot you, I apologize. And I want to say thank you to a special man that I actually forgot to speak about in the induction. His name is David Lopez. He was there in the beginning of my career when I had $0, and he purchased my outfit when I got announced as a professional. I still have his shoes since 1998 that he purchased for me, and I keep those shoes and I wear those shoes at times because that keeps me grounded. I know where I come from. I know where I've been there. And I want to say to my abuela, may she rest in peace. I wore her shirt on Saturday, and I'll never forget her. So I think and I want to thank you more than anything, Mr. Aaron, for giving me the opportunity to be on your platform.
Hey, man, I want to thank you. You got the chat room lit up like the 4th of July. Cabana restaurant, your kids, man, friends, man, they're putting comments. All of them say, "We love you, CHELO. We love you." Hey, man, they as always, they come out and show out, man. You're indeed something special. And we'll have you on the show again. You when something comes up, you want to announce or something like that, man. You're a great guy. You keep up the hard work, man, that you're doing. It's paying off because you're having people outside that circle that you have recognizing your great work. And thank you for coming on the World Boxing Review radio show. You're a true champion. What a champion means. It means, man, you stand up for family, friends, and your community, and that's what it's all about. CHELO, the World Boxing Review, love you, brother. You keep up the good work.
Boom, 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 baby. God bless you.
All right. All right. Thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell, and they call me the Hall of Fame Trainer of Champions as we travel the world for past, present, and future stars.